Hey everybody, this is Mark Richards, the owner of Wasatch Recovery and a proud sponsor of Todd Sylvester's Beliefcast. We are excited to have you join us as we discuss Wasatch Recovery's unique treatment programs for overcoming addictions and techniques for developing a healthier lifestyle. We call this the Wasatch Way. Wasatch Recovery's goal is to instill hope, teach resilience, and help you achieve recovery. Enjoy today's podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Once again, this is Todd Sylvester with the Todd Inspires Beliefcast. Thank you for tuning in. You guys are fantastic. I love all your support. Today, we're going to do another episode of the Wasatch Way, and I'm joined here with the owner of Wasatch Recovery, Mark Richards. Mark, good to see you, buddy.
Great to see you, Todd. I'm excited. I really am. I'm always excited.
Yeah, no, this has been great, and thanks, you guys, for sharing these episodes, especially with the Wasatch Way. We've had people check in because of it who needed help. We've had moms and dads and people reach out to Mark and our marketing team to, looking for help. So I think we're accomplishing the things, of what we wanted to do, why we, when we decided to do these things, right?
Totally agree. I think it's been very, very positive. It's exciting for us to be able to share what we do as a facility. Yeah. And I think it's had a real positive impact.
Yeah. So this has been great. And today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to actually turn the table here. Mark's going to actually interview me. I've been at Wasatch now for 8 years, and we were thinking about what's another episode. And it might be good for our listeners to maybe, hear my story, a little bits of it at least, and how I came about to be here at Wasatch Recovery and what I do here.
I'm excited. I'm excited for a number of reasons. I get to obviously host this, whatever we want to call this Wasatch Way. But I'm really excited to be able to just sit and talk with you from my perspective and hear your perspective, because you're the one who gets to hear everybody else's perspective. Yeah. So I'm excited. I really am excited about that.
Yeah, and I was telling Mark, this is the first time I've done this on my podcast. I mean, I've been on other people's podcasts to share my story and things like that. Not once on this one. And it's just weird, but it's cool at the same time. And I've been fortunate to be able to share such amazing stories, including yours, Mark. And people, the other day I had someone say, "Hey, I listened to Mark and Jeff's podcast you had," and I mean that was 4 years ago,
right?
And people are still going, "Hey, I listened to that; it was so awesome," and how these guys put this thing together. So it's been really cool. So this is kind of neat to be able to have the roles reversed.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So.
Where do we start?
Well, let's get rolling. I think it's an exciting few minutes that I get to be able to host your show. It's an honor, I'll be honest, to be able to host Todd Inspired Beliefcast. I think it's amazing. So, cool. I wanted to just talk a little bit about you and then ask some questions.
Great.
You've been working for Wasatch now for almost 8 years. Yeah. And I want everybody to know that we had a lot of people in our lives that we had mutual friends, acquaintances. Right. You have a nephew who married a niece of mine. Yep. I knew your wife when I was in elementary school. Yep. So it's ironic. It's always ironic to me how people come together in this world. Yep. And I think my first thing that I would love to hear from you is, how did this come about in your mind? How did Wasatch attract you? Yeah,
that's a great question, and it's a cool story actually. And so before I came to Wasatch, where I've been, like you said, almost 8 years, I was doing life coaching. I was doing speaking events, and it was something that I've been doing for 30 years, and I just love it, and I love helping people. So it's just been something I've done, and I've been very fortunate because I've overcome some really hard things in my life that kind of led to that as well. And I'll never forget, it was a Sunday, and I'm just home, and I get a random phone call from one of my clients who was struggling. It's like, "Man, I'm really struggling today, Todd. Do you know of any meetings we could go to?" And to be honest, I've been out of the meeting realm for a while. I mean, I've done meetings before, like I'm talking AA meetings, and I didn't know for sure. I'm like, well, you know what? Let me make a few phone calls, and I'll call you back. So at the time, a mutual friend of ours, Laura Shank, was working for you here at Wasatch, and I knew that. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to call her. And so I call her up and said, hey, you know what, I got a client who's struggling. I want to take him to a meeting tonight. Do you have any ideas where I could take him? And she immediately says, have him come up here to our alumni meeting. And I go, well, can we do that? She goes, well, we're not really supposed to. But she's like, but come on up. You know, we're good friends. And I go, this guy's a good kid. He would love it. So I come here to the barn that we're in. We're here live at Wasatch Recovery. We call it the barn because it used to be a barn.
Right.
And upstairs, we go upstairs, and there was a alumni meeting, an AA alumni meeting. And I'll never forget, I'm just sitting there going, this place is amazing. And I don't know how to explain it, but anyone who's ever come through our program says this all the time. There's a feeling here. And the feeling is, I don't know, you feel like you belong, you feel love. I mean, and it starts from you, Mark, from the top down. And I just felt like, man, there's something different about this place. And the whole time I'm sitting in this meeting, I'm going, geez, I need to figure out who owns this place. I had no clue at the time. I'm just clueless. And after we were done, I mean, my friend that I brought, my client, was like, that was amazing. That's exactly what I needed. I mean, I'm serious. It really kind of just helped him kind of go, okay, I'm okay. And anyway, so after I go to Laura, I go, who owns this place? This place is amazing. She's like, Mark Richards. And the name sounded really familiar. I'm like, I know that name. How do I know that name? Anyway, I go, would you be willing to give me his contact information? She wouldn't give me your cell number, but she gave me your email. And so the next day, so now it's Monday, and I still couldn't get it off my mind. I'm like, that was incredible. And I'm like, I want to be a part of that place. I'll never forget. I'm just like, I want to be a part of that place. I don't know how to do it. So I sent an email to you, Mark. I can't even remember what I said. It's been so long, but I basically probably poured my heart out to you and saying how much I love the meeting. I put my resume attached to it, told him my background, and sent it off to you. And not knowing what was going to happen, I mean, he's probably going, who's this dude, And then I can't remember the exact time frame, but it wasn't too long after I got a response from you, Mark, and you basically said, hey, I love what you sent. I love that you enjoyed that meeting, and love to meet with you.
Hey,
and
I remember that. I
mean, it's crazy.
I remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And what was so great about that moment for me is we were pretty new in this business at that point.
Yeah.
And all I was looking for is great people.
Right.
And I remember seeing your email and going, there's something different about this guy. And again, I don't know if it was because of our mutual friends, if it was something, that pulled me towards you. But what was interesting is, from my point of view, is I read through your resume and I'm thinking, this guy's been doing this forever.
Yeah.
Why in the heck does he want to come and be with me?
I know.
I didn't feel worthy. I really didn't. And I'll be honest, to this day, I probably still don't feel worthy.
Oh, wow.
And
That's nice of you.
well, you've just been such an inspiration, not only to those out in the world, but to us here at Wasatch. And you made such a huge difference in our program. And that's what I wanted everybody to know today is, number one, how valuable you are to me, and what you do here and how valuable that is to our center, and the uniqueness that you create in what we do. Yeah. And I guess that's where I want to lead into the next question is, when you came here, what was your goal? When you came, you obviously want to help people. Yeah. But the goal in mind is obviously, to help. But was there anything more to that? When you came here, you felt this feeling, and then what was it that you were thinking about at that point?
Yeah, it's a great question. I've been to other treatment centers before all that. I mean, I've been around, meetings at other treatment centers, and I know how other treatment centers do things. And that's why I noticed something different here. So it was, I'm like, something's different about this treatment center, because there's a lot of treatment centers out there, folks, and you probably know that. But I thought, you know what, I think I can bring something unique to this place, because I'm not a licensed therapist. And typically places like this, like you guys, the treatment centers, wouldn't hire me because I'm not licensed. But that's what makes this place different. I thought, man, this is going to be such an awesome added thing to what they're already doing that no other treatment center is doing. Like, I knew that at the time. There might be now, I don't know, but I knew no one was doing this. And I came in here thinking, I want to share this, at the time it would be like over 20 years of knowledge and experience that I've dealt with people, including my own story and what I've been through. And I thought, you know what? I want to be able to bring something different to the table. And what's interesting is when I first started working here, I just kind of, I was a team player, just kind of going with the flow of how things were going. But I knew this wasn't what I wanted to kind of bring to the table. So I remember asking you, I'm like, Mark, will you let me just be me and let me just run with what I got? And you didn't even hesitate. You're like, go for it. I was like, what? I was expecting you to go, no, Todd, we got to you're like, go for it. And you let me run with the things that I've learned, and it's been just awesome. So that was kind of on my mind, not just because I want to help people, but I thought I could bring something unique to the table.
Well, and you've done just that for sure. I mean, the uniqueness of you, Todd, the passion that you bring, the care that you bring is exactly what I was looking for at that time, and still do in every employee that I hire. And I think you have seen that over the years also, and I consider you an executive in my company, because I value your opinion, and you give me great advice with people inside of our company and outside of our company.
Yeah.
And mostly I love to ask you about my residents.
Yeah.
How's their progress? What are they doing?
Yeah.
Are they real? Are they not?
Right.
Are they vested? I'm asking all these little questions all the time. And I know that you see what's in there in every single resident. And from the day you came here, I really believe that you're the most influential person in our treatment facility as far as moving somebody forward from their addiction.
Right.
Everybody's got a place here.
Sure.
Everybody's valuable at Wasatch Recovery.
We have great people
in our
here.
own areas. We do. But moving forward, their mindset, everything I see change in them. And you often tell me about little things that residents hear from you that make a difference that other people don't say. Can you share some examples?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can share a bunch. I just did a group with our clients just a couple hours ago, and I had them pull out their journals and I had them write this down. My addiction is the wake-up call to my greatness. And I asked, because we got some new people here, and people who have been here for a minute know that I talk a lot about this. And I said, I want to hear what you guys think about that. And it was just interesting. I just opened up the floor, and people were like, oh yeah, I agree. And then others, the kind of new people are looking at me like deer in the headlights. Like, I go, I bet you've never heard that anywhere in any treatment. And I even asked them, have you been in other treatment centers? And they're like, yeah, huh? And I go, I bet you've never heard that ever. They're like, nope. And I say, because see, addiction, when we're in our addiction, we are truly going against who we really are. And when I say that, everyone logically goes, yeah, but it's interesting that we never look at ourselves as great. I think we struggle with that. And in my life in the past, I struggle with that as well too. I mean, I think we all do on some level.
I think everybody.
But to say that addiction is the wake-up call to your greatness. And when these people are starting to wake up, and that's, I think, one of the things I do. I'm waking these people up to let them see, dude, you're amazing. Quit playing small. And, there's a new guy over in our house, and he's literally looking at me like, and he's all beat up too. He fell on his face. He looks hammered. And he's literally looking at me, and I just started laughing. I go, you never heard that, right? And he goes, yeah. And I go, it's true though. So that's one example of things that I say. Probably the biggest thing that I say, and you can see it right above here, is I have a client, when my clients come into this office on day one, I always say this. I go, I'm going to tell you something that I don't want you to ever forget. You can forget everything else I ever tell you, but I want you to never forget this. Can you promise me that you'll never forget what I'm going to tell you next? And, and they'll say, yeah. And I go, I'm serious. I don't care if you forget my name. I don't care if you forget me, but don't forget this. And I say, it's the greatest truth about you. And you guys who are listening to this, you got to understand, I'm talking to people who have just detoxed from alcohol and benzos and heroin and you name it. They've been blowing up their lives. And I have him read this statement out loud, which is right above my head here in the office. It says, "The most delightful surprise in life is to suddenly recognize there's nothing wrong with me." And I'm telling you, Mark, it's my favorite part of my job because I get to watch him start to cry. They get emotional. Some people laugh because they feel uncomfortable with it. They're like, "Really, Todd? You really?" And I go, "Don't you ever forget, it's the greatest truth." And I go, as soon as you embrace that, you could leave. Like, you could honestly leave, because the problem is everyone comes in here telling themselves a story that there's something wrong with them. Now, that doesn't mean we're perfect. It doesn't mean that we don't have stuff to work on, but we walk around just telling ourselves, I'm less than, I'm not good enough, I'm different, so I can't connect. And we create this narrative that just drives this depression and this anxiety, and we just try to numb out from it. So when I tell them that, man, it's awesome to watch their responses. They may not fully get it on day one, but I'll tell you, when they leave here, I always ask them, "You can't argue it?" And they go, "No, I can't, Todd."
Yeah.
I go, and I just say, "Don't ever forget it." So, I mean, there's a couple examples.
I love it. I love the examples, and that one in particular, we're okay. Yeah. You're okay.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with you, because the world wants to tell every addict that there's something wrong with them.
Yep.
And we disagree at Wasatch Recovery. We disagree.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will differ in their opinions there. Families will differ in that opinion often because they see the destruction that it can cause. But we know from our experience that that is truth.
Yeah. And there's a big movement right now because of the mental health issues going on, which I totally understand, that they'll say it's okay to not be okay, which I'm okay with that. But I always add, so it's okay to not be okay, but the truth is you're still okay. And that's what we help them realize here. So you're right. It's okay to not be okay at times, because we all have our struggles and battles, especially right now. But when you can get someone to realize, but I'm still okay. And I always go back to these little kids. I shared an amazing story today, if we have time, but about how when we were little kids, we just sat in our uncomfortableness. We just sat in it. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. We call it sitting in your shit. And we just sat in it. And I always ask, how did we get through it? And we might have thrown a temper tantrum. We might have cried. We might have yelled. But what always happened eventually, and everyone in unison goes, it got better. And I go, we had it figured out when we were kids. So you're going to have moments where you don't feel okay, but the truth is you're still okay. And once you talk it out, you go, oh man, I'm okay.
It's so
right?
true.
So anyway.
It's so true. And again, I think that, we focus so much here on the entire holistic approach, meaning mind, body, and spirit.
For sure.
And if they're not in conjunction with each other, you're going to be a little bit dysfunctional.
Yeah.
So we focus on all three areas. And, that is so important. And I've heard some of our other therapists mention that you need to look towards your inner child. Yeah. And I know you focus a lot on that.
Yeah.
Because when we were all children, at least when we were born, we were perfect.
Yep.
We were perfect to that point.
Yep.
And, we've learned to be insecure. We've learned to have anxiety. We've learned through situations that we've been dealt.
Yep.
But we're okay. And I love that. I just love what you do there.
Yeah, it is so powerful, and it really is. And if someone right now is wrestling with that, going, oh, I don't know if we can say that. Well, and again, you got to understand the whole concept, because like you said, Mark, we learned, like for instance, we're born honest. We don't come out as liars.
Right.
Kids are the most honest people on the planet. We learn to lie because we don't want to offend someone typically, or we want to act cool or whatever it is. But we weren't liars. So our true self is we're honest.
So funny, right? Because when I was young and I went and lived in Holland for a period of time, and to learn a different language, I had always heard, just ask the children. And what do the children do? They tell you if you're saying it right or not. We're too afraid to say, hey, you're not saying that correctly.
Right.
And the children will always say, you can't say that. That's not how you say that.
Right.
So in numerous circumstances, children are honest. They just say what they think.
Yeah.
And, I heard the other day, Tina, who's been on our podcast before, our experiential director, a little kid sat behind one of her sons and said, he's got girl hair because he has long hair. Well, that's true, because most girls have long hair.
Yeah.
And they just state the truth. It's not offensive.
Right.
And I love that. I just love that. And that's another thing that we do here at Wasatch is we speak truth.
Yep.
A lot of people don't like to hear the truth because the truth hurts.
Yep.
And that's what I appreciate, again, so much of what you do is you tell them a different truth than what other people have been telling them.
Yeah.
And that's where I think there's a lot of difference here.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you, it's funny, going back to the kid thing and also the truth. It's like I said, if a little kid, I'm talking to a group of our clients, who have just blown up their lives. And I said, if a little kid came in here right now and did a cartwheel, we'd all go, oh, that's so cute. But if an adult did it, we'd be like, they're weird.
Yeah. What are they doing?
They're weird. Are they on something?
Right.
And it's funny how, why do we have to change that? It's not about being childish, but let's be childlike. And it goes into like these, I always have my clients also on day one I always have them write down, I am what I repeatedly do. And then I talk about these 4 things. Be honest, because it kills bad behavior. Have integrity, nothing else matters. Be accountable, and when you do that, suffering stops, and help someone. And then I have them write down, what's the definition of success? And it's so interesting, Mark. I always get, it's probably having a career and a family and money, or, financial freedom. I get so many different answers, which they're all good. Nothing wrong with those.
Sure.
But I always say the true definition of success is waking up in a good mood. And if you can do that consistently, you have figured out life. And I always say, if you'll do those 4 things, because you are what you repeatedly do, you'll eventually get to a point where you're waking up in a good mood consistently. And I'm telling you, they literally look at me, and I'll tell you, and I always say, you came here to Wasatch looking for an answer, right? And they go, yeah. And I go, I just gave it to you. And they literally just blown away. And I go, yes, we need to process your past and your trauma. And that's all, like you said, this is a well-oiled machine here. We need all parts. But I'll tell you, the answer comes down to those 4 basic things. If you did those 4 things, I'm telling you, it's game over.
Name that one more time, those 4 things.
Be honest, because honesty kills bad behavior. Have integrity, which is doing the right thing when no one's looking. Again, nothing matters or nothing else matters. You got to have one or the other there. 3, be accountable, which means 100% responsibility for your life. When you do that, suffering stops, because the opposite of being accountable is pointing the finger and blaming someone else. And I've been there. When I was in the height of my addiction, I was blaming my family, my dad, you name it. It was their fault. It was his fault, and I stayed stuck, and I continued to suffer. It wasn't until my mentor slapped me upside the head and said, Todd, knock it off. He goes, this is on you. Take accountability. And it was this wake-up call for me. I was like, oh, my gosh. I never thought of it that way. He goes, you're going to keep suffering if you keep blaming. Stop blaming, and your suffering will stop. So that's where that comes from. And then number 4, which to me is the most important, help someone else. Give it away. One of the most, another powerful principle I talk about is, if you want to be, give it away. Fill in the blank. If you want to be inspiring, go inspire someone, and now you're inspiring. If you want to feel love today, go give away love. Now you've got love. You give to get. And, I say this all the time. If you master the first 11 steps of AA, you'll drink again. If you master step 12, you'll never touch another drop. What's step 12? Help somebody else.
I love that.
Yeah. So,
well, we do, again, here at Wasatch, we focus so much on service, and I tend to focus on that when my residents are leaving. I love to pull them in.
Absolutely. You're great at that.
Talk a lot about service. Just go serve somebody. If you're feeling down, do something small. Say hello. Hold the door open. Do something little, and it'll brighten your day, and it'll brighten somebody else's day. And it makes you realize that life is short, makes you realize that those things will go away that you teach, and they will become happy.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we do here so great is we don't focus a ton on drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
We call this a life program.
Yep.
And really is, how can you create joy in your life where you don't need drugs and alcohol anymore? And I love that concept of joy. And I remember you telling me once that there's a difference between happy and joy.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Yes. Yeah. So happiness is an emotion, which means emotions come and go. So happiness is kind of at times fleeting. It's like rising bubbles. Like there they are and now they're gone, right? Joy is the state of the heart. It's like oxygen. It's ever present. And you think about babies and 1, 2, 3, 4-year-olds. We both have grandchildren now.
Right.
All you have to do is sit and watch them at a family party, and they're in joy 24/7. Because they're living in their natural self. That's their natural state. It's not happiness. It's actual joy. There's a huge difference. Happiness comes and goes, but joy is ever present. And when we learn to keep our thoughts in the present moment is when we experience joy. And when we were kids, we did that so well. As we get older, we start comparing ourselves, we start overthinking stuff, and now we start feeling sad and anxious, and then where's the joy? And then happiness will come in, but then it goes, and then you're like, oh, I feel anxious again, or I feel sad again. When in reality, our natural state is joy, and when we can tap into that again, as adults especially, and that's one of the things we teach here and you're right, this is a life program. It's funny you say that because I was asking the group even today, I said, hey, you guys remember when we were little kids, we would just roll down a hill?
Right.
Like, remember that?
Oh, yeah.
We just love
it.
And we thought it was amazing.
It was the greatest thing in the
world.
world.
But imagine seeing a bunch of adults rolling down a hill. Everyone go, they're weird. But it's so funny how we have to look at that and judge that. Whereas kids, we can roll down a hill and we're just experiencing joy rolling down a hill. But as adults, no, that's for kids. We don't do that. And I just think we need to look at things differently. And I think that's one of the things we do here really well is have them go, oh, this is what joy is. It's different than happiness.
I love that. I love that so much. And I know Tina brings a lot of that out of them in her experiential activities. Yeah, she really is great at that. Our people get to do little kid things, if we want to call it
Absolutely.
That. Get to play with chalk. Get to do vision boards. Things that really make them go, oh, my word, are we really going to play with sidewalk chalk today?
Yeah.
And by the end, they're loving it.
They're loving
their
it.
creativity comes out. Next thing you know, their competitiveness comes out because we have two homes and they're battling against each other. Who's going to do the best? And I love seeing that.
So cool.
Well, Todd, you're you're probably one of the most important pieces to what we do here at Wasatch Recovery, and I want you to know that, and I truly believe that.
Thank you.
And the reason I know that is because so many people have testified of that to me, old residents, ex-residents, people who still may struggle. Keep exactly what you said. They don't forget your words. Yeah. We always said for years and years and years, we said, you may not be successful on the first try, but you'll never like using drugs and alcohol again after coming through Wasatch Recovery. Yeah. And I've had numerous people come back and say, I hated it. Now I'm ready. Yeah. Because I didn't like it anymore.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Well, once your mind's been stretched, it can never go back to its original dimensions. So what we do is we stretch the mind here, which means awareness. And now their awareness is there. They have to physically and mentally and spiritually lie to themselves, knowing that this is wrong, to go relapse. And we like to say we ruin your relapse from now on. It's ruined.
Right.
It just is. And everyone will go, yeah, I didn't enjoy it. It sucked. Because again, their awareness is expanded to a point where you can't deny. And that's the thing. They can't deny their greatness. Like going back to what I, teach them in the very beginning, the addiction's the wake up call to their greatness. When they're getting ready to leave, I go, you can't deny your greatness now, can you? And they literally go, Todd, you're right. I can't deny it. And I go, isn't that amazing? How cool is that? See, you came here and you discovered your greatness. So it's not necessarily a treatment program, which it is, but this is the best university on the planet.
Right. I totally agree. And you're the best professor on the planet. I'm gonna give that to you.
Oh, thank you.
Here's my question for you.
Sure.
Have you realized how great you are?
I can honestly say yes. And if you were to ask me that maybe 15 years ago, I would have squirmed at that question. I would have been like, oh, okay. And I would have, oh, thanks, Mark, But no, I'll own that because I can't teach that to the client if I don't believe it myself.
Right.
And that doesn't mean I'm perfect, folks. I struggle. I mean, I've had a rough couple months, if you knew what I've been through, losing my sister. And, I just spoke at a funeral and of someone that went through our program. And, but I know my greatness. I really do. And I know that, that's okay to admit that. And I feel comfortable saying that. And, I'll never forget when I first got in this business. This was 30 years ago, mind you.
Yeah.
My mentor, he says, "What do you want to do, Todd?" And I'll never forget, I was telling him, I'm like, "I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to do life coaching." And this is before all that was popular.
Right.
I'm not kidding you. This is old school stuff. And I'll never forget what he told me. He says, "Okay, great, Todd." He goes, "You know what the hardest thing for you to do that?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Practice what you preach." And when he said that, logically, I go, "Oh, I know what that means." And then I'd go out and I would go do a speaking event, or I'd meet with a client. And then I realized afterwards, I'm like, I'm telling this client to do this stuff and I'm not doing it. And I'm like, boy, he was right. And so I have worked really hard over the years, and I really do pride myself on, if I'm going to tell a client to do this or to believe this or to understand this, I'd better dang well be doing it myself.
I love that. And I know I've self-checked quite a bit lately on that exact concept of being a great coach, but not a great player. I keep saying that to myself. Man, I'm a great coach, but I'm not a great player. And I've been really thinking about that a lot, going, I need to be a great coach and a great player. And I've really tried to focus on that, and just meaning I got to practice what I preach. And I try and hold everybody here accountable to that standard.
Right.
I love to set an expectation with our clients when they walk in the door. I don't think there's very many treatment centers that actually set an expectation for,
let alone from the owner.
Right.
Seriously.
But I do. And I think our residents know that I expect them to do well. And I think I've said that on a couple of podcasts. I expect that they come here for a reason. I expect them to gain something out of this program.
Yeah.
And if they're not ready, well, come back when you are.
Yeah.
And I've said that before also, and not many owners of facilities are going to say that either, because they don't want to lose their people. I don't want to lose them either, in the sense of I don't want them to die. Exactly. And I want them to be ready, and I want them to come and really put in 100% effort, because I know what works.
Yep.
I'm so amazed at the work that you do personally with these people, because it sticks so hard with them. And it's so fun to watch. That's my favorite part. It's just so fun to watch and to see the influence you have, your passion, your desire, your care for these people to move forward is so, so great. I can tell you Wasatch Recovery would not be the same without you.
It means a lot. Thanks, Mark.
No, it just means the world to me that you're here. What else? Is there anything else that...
Yeah, I do want to say this, because this is, I think, what sets me apart. And I don't take credit when I say this. Like, someone taught this to me, is that simplicity is power. And I'll never forget when I first started doing this 32 years ago, which still blows my mind. It's been that long.
I know, right?
I'm getting old, folks.
Well, I've been doing it for 10 and I can't believe it.
Yeah, 10 years. It's awesome.
It's just crazy.
So awesome. But I used to overcomplicate this whole thing, I used to, throw a brain video up on the TV, and, here's what happens when you snort cocaine, and this part of your brain's going to go red, and, and this is why it's a disease, and all this stuff. And I'm not kidding you, my clients would walk out there going, what the freak did we just do?
I know, right?
Like, they're confused.
Yeah.
And I'm like giving them all this stuff to read, and it hits me. And again, my mentor, I had a mentor, I'm going to give him props right now, Rich Saunders. That guy is my mentor to this day, and that guy it was amazing. Anyway, he just talks about simplify things. You are overcomplicating this whole thing. And I started realizing, oh my gosh, I am, right? And so I always say this now, one of the biggest lies that I hear from my clients, it's the biggest lie. I've been doing this for 30 years, like I said, and I always ask, what do you think the biggest lie I've ever heard? And it's this: Todd, it can't be that simple. And I'm like, it is. That's the lie you're telling yourself, because it is that simple. So simplicity is power, and I want to make that clear. And I think that's what people love here. You go ask every client here, whoever's been through here, they'll go, oh yeah, Todd simplifies it in such a way that I realize, one, I can do it, but yet how powerful it is.
Right.
So I just want anyone listening to this, if you have a loved one who's struggling, and you're trying to figure out a place to take them or wherever, I'm telling you what I love about this place is we're tough, but we do it with love and compassion, but we also simplify it in such a way that people walk out of it. That's that mind stretch we were just talking about.
I just love that.
It's been stretched. You can't deny it. And you walk out there going, holy cow, I am amazing.
I love that. And sitting with you makes you realize each part and each person, they do have those amazing characteristics.
Yeah.
And I love, again, the way we do things because they realize that before they walk out of here.
Yep.
And they can't deny. And that's what's so powerful about the changing of the narrative that you always say. Changing that narrative in their brain is so vital to their success, in my opinion. And that's why you have such an effect on them, is you literally simplify their thinking and change the narrative. And when they walk out, they know they're okay. Yeah. And I just love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's so much fun, man. It's great to see people come in here who obviously are struggling and they have a really poor narrative. The most powerful force in the human psyche is the story we tell ourselves about ourselves. And so one of the main things I do here is help them reshape and change that narrative. Because once you change the narrative, I'll say this all the time, and you ask anyone here, I'll say, you guys don't have a drinking problem. You don't have a drug problem. You have a thinking problem. We're here to help you change the way you think. Because once you do that, it's game over.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's fun to just watch people change their belief systems before our very eyes and start believing in themselves and loving who they are. And it's fun.
Well, we love the Wasatch Way.
Yeah.
We've always loved the Wasatch Way. We love to tell people about the Wasatch Way. We hope more people will do it the Wasatch Way.
Yeah.
We really do, because we care about everybody who's struggling.
Yeah.
And again, just like you said, if anybody's struggling, feel free to call us. You're welcome to call me.
Yes.
At any time on my mobile. It's 801-898-7778. And we would love to help in any way that we can. Yeah. And I just appreciate you so much. And
thanks, man.
What an opportunity for me to be able to sit and interview you.
Yeah, it's been fun, man.
Kind of flip-flop what we normally do. So
it's a little easier on this end.
Right? No, it's great. No, I just love your advice. I love the way you see things in this world. It's truly inspiring, and Todd inspires, and you do.
Thank you so much, man.
You're sure welcome.
Well, thanks for interviewing me. You did a great job. And this is another episode of the Wasatch Way. And I just want to thank all of you for tuning in. And just know that I love what I do. I love it. I'm passionate about it. And I'm going to do this till the day I die. And I mean that. Like, I will do nothing other than this. I don't want to do anything else. I wouldn't want to do anything else. And I'm just grateful for you, Mark, for allowing me to be me here. Like you didn't paint me into a box and say, you can only say these things. You just let me run with it. And it's funny, folks, when Mark let me just let go of the reins and let me do my thing, I ruffled some feathers here for a little while. But I think people now know that my heart's in the right place and that I really support everything that we're doing here, what I'm saying. And so it's been really good to just be a part of the team that way. But I want to thank you for providing this amazing facility that has amazing people that work for you. And you're amazing. I always looked up to you. It was weird when I first started working here. I'm like, man, that's Mark Richards, and then I finally started knowing who you were. And then I tell my wife, she's like, oh yeah, I went to elementary school with that kid. And then my dad knew you, my brother knew you. I mean, everyone knew you. I'm like, how did I not connect with you earlier? It's so weird.
I know.
But it's been a great ride, and I just can't thank you enough for believing in me and giving me this opportunity to share my talents and my experience with your clients. And it's just wonderful, and I just love it.
Well, I so appreciate you. I really do. I love you to death.
Thanks, man. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode with me on the other end. If you have someone who's struggling and you're not sure how to even talk to them, a great way to do this, and other people have done this, a great way to break the ice is share this episode with them. Just send the link to them, text it to them, and say, hey, listen to this. And then you can follow up with a question. And if they need help, please reach out to Mark and you can call him on his phone number or send him a text. That's what's so cool. The owner will actually take your call, which is, unheard of in my opinion.
Anytime.
So I love you guys. Mark, once again, this is fun, and can't wait for the next Wasatch Way.
Sounds great. Thanks.
See you, everybody. Love you guys.